Hey guys, this is Miss Jacobson. Today's lesson is kind of review, but it's building on what we've already done. So we have already talked about star editing passages and star revising passages, and we did those on 2 different days. Today we're going to practice some more with revising and editing questions because they will be on your star test this year. And we're going to kind of look at the strategies for revising versus the strategies for editing and give you a chance to practice independently so that we know that you kind of know what you're doing with those types of questions. So our lesson goal is we will be able to answer star revising and editing questions. We're going to go over those strategies one more time. Again, why do we need a strategy, Ms. Jacobson? I feel like I know what I'm doing. Well, on our writing semester exam, for the whole 6th grade, our average score on the test was a 54. And remember, those were all revising and editing questions. The percentage of 6th graders who would have passed star, that means on a star test, a 58 for reading is passing. So the percentage of 6th graders who made at least a 58 on that semester exam was less than half. It was 46% of the 6th grade. And of the 6th graders who made at least a 58, only 20% made a 70 or higher. So that tells us that we really need to take our time and go carefully through those passages and use every strategy, every little extra bit of help that we can get. So again, there are 2 different types of passages when it comes to writing passages. We have editing and we have revising. An editing question looks like this. It's going to give you a specific sentence and say, how should sentence blank be changed? And then it's going to give you multiple options to choose from. So it's going to ask you to fix a specific mistake, but it's not going to tell you, oh, fix the capitalization, or oh, make the subject and verb agree. You have to figure out what is wrong with that sentence. Each answer choice is going to be a different kind of grammar rule, which is why our strategy is to identify each type of grammar rule that's being tested, because you have to know them all to find the mistake. So here's an example question. This is from a passage we've already done. First, we're going to code the question. So we underline the most important words in the question. We underline change, and we underline sentence 5, because that tells us what we need to know, what we're doing. Then we underline the sentence in the story. Then we label each answer choice with the type of grammar skill that it's testing. So the first one tests subject-verb agreement. The second one is a spelling. Third one is a spelling. And the fourth one is a punctuation/sentence question. Each of those follows a different grammar rule. And so we have to make sure that we're checking the right rule when we're eliminating answer choices. And then we have to go through and evaluate each answer. So we would go through and just kind of figure out, okay, what is being tested? For instance, in F, it's subject-verb agreement. We have to think through that rule and figure out if that rule, that answer choice answers that rule or not. And if not, we have to mark it out. For revising is a little bit different. Revising changes the content of the story, not the grammar. So it may add an introduction or a conclusion. You may be adding a detail or removing a detail, or you may be combining or rewriting sentences to make them sound better. With a revising question, it's not going to give you a change blank to blank type of answer. It's going to be all sorts of different questions, but ultimately what I want you to think about is what would make the story sound better or make more sense. So if this is an example revising question, we do have a strategy for revising as well. First, you're going to code the question. So Jesse wants to use a more effective sentence to conclude the paper. We're going to underline conclude because that lets us know we're focusing on the conclusion, the ending of the paper. And then replace sentence 23 because that's what we're doing. Then we underline the sentence in the story, and with revising, it's important that when we read the sentence in the story, we read the sentence before and after it as well. Then we eliminate answer choices that don't make sense. Finally, we choose our answer. So you can watch this video as many times as you need to kind of think through this strategy. But what you're doing today and tomorrow is you are practicing using these strategies the editing strategy and the revising strategy step by step in order to pick the right answer. We are not just grading you on, hey, can they answer the questions? Because our writing benchmark already kind of told us how we're doing on answering the questions. What we are focusing on today is practicing the strategy that's going to help us get better. So for editing, first you're going to code the question, which means underline the important parts of the question. Second, you're going to underline the sentence in the story. Third, you're going to label each answer choice with the type of skill that it's asking about. And then last, you're going to evaluate your different answers. Make sure that the one you pick follows the grammar rule and choose your correct answer. For revising, it's going to start off very similar. We code the question, so we underline the important words in the question. Then we underline the sentence in the story and read the sentence before and after it. Then we eliminate answers that do not do the job that we're looking for, that don't make the story sound better or make more sense. And then finally, we choose an answer. You are going to complete both the editing and the revising passage in Canvas or in OneNote and turn them into Canvas. Half your points are going to come from selecting correct answers. The other 50 points will come from using strategies on every single question. Because there are a lot of questions, we're giving you Monday and Tuesday to complete both passages, but it's due at the end of the day on Tuesday. So you're going to go into your OneNote, find this passage. It's called Revising and Editing Practice, and you actually need to use your drawing tool and use the strategies that we just talked about in this PowerPoint in order to get full credit. Again, I'm going to leave you with these strategies, so you can pause the video right here and go back and forth if you need to look at them, but you must use strategies on your revising and editing practice.